start of another trip. Flew into Chicago last night, stayed in Rockford, and now hitting US 20, heading towards Lost Island theme park. First part of this road trip. Decided to get on firerunner, which should be the last RMC in the United States for me to ride. Hopefully that's running today. In Illinois right now, and yeah, it's about a 3-hour drive from here to Lost Island. So looks like I'm gonna get there right around park open, which is about 10:30. So if I stay on schedule anyway, we'll see. Well, let's head to Lost Island. Well, as I drive through the farmlands here in western Illinois, figured it's a little bit of story time here to start this road trip. You see Pikachu there on the dashboard. Is I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but kind of been a mascot on many of my road trips. Had another hobby called geocaching, which I haven't done much geocaching lately. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. Basically like a scavenger hunt. And yeah, one time I picked up Pikachu just randomly on a road trip and just kind of been with me since, and also helps at the end of each park day to kind of locate the car. Like, oh, just look for Pikachu on the dashboard. So that's the story behind Pikachu anyway, the short story. But yeah, as I head towards Lost Island, this is the start of a pretty long road trip, a 2-week trip. It's going to be taking me all through the Midwest here, and then up to Canada, and finishing up over in the Northeast United States. So basically I started in Chicago last night, and be ending up in Philadelphia at the very end of the trip, and hitting up a lot of theme parks along the way. This is kind of the solo portion of the trip. Rolla will be joining me a little bit later on in the trip, basically when I get back to Chicago, so looking forward to that. Yeah, just heading towards Lost Island today. First of 2 parks. I'm going to try and hit up Arnolds Park as well, which is northwest of Des Moines by, I want to say, 100 miles or so. It's going to be, I think, a 3.5 hour drive from Lost Island. So, gonna pack a lot in today. Hopefully, get a lot of rides in at Lost Island, and then head on over to Arnolds Park. So, that's the plan for today. For right now anyway. It's 8 o'clock, and yeah, estimated arrival at 10:30 at Lost Island. So I'm going to enjoy the nice long drive through the farmlands here in Illinois, and a little bit of Iowa as well. There will be sorrow no more. Bad Religion. I think I see some weather ahead. There's supposed to be some rain later on today, at least in this area. I don't know about in the Arnolds Park area. Yeah, here we are, day 1, and theme park mark weather has already started. But we'll see what I can get done today anyway. Seeing this, we'll see. Lost Island. And I see an RMC, firerunner. The only RMC in the US that I have not yet ridden. Hopefully we change that today. And it's a little bit busier than the last time I was here, but not much busier. Not many cars in the parking lot. Alright, it's $10 for parking. Just use a card. I think you can pay for it online. That's what they're saying. Of course, the attendant looked at my shirt, was like, "Oh, you're a coaster enthusiast?" Yep. Wearing a Railblazer shirt today, which is the RMC single rail at my home park. Where to park? I don't know. It's always I'll opt for the pull through. Don't open your door, please. Thank you. Alright, let's head on in, Lost Island. Hey guys, Theme Park Mark here. This is the start of another big trip, a 2-week trip, taking me through Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Canada, as well as the Northeast US. I kind of talked about it a little bit on the way over here. Park 1 is Lost Island in Iowa. It is kind of in the middle of nowhere, northeast of Des Moines. It took about a 3-hour drive to get here from Rockford, Illinois this morning. And yeah, park just opened. Not looking busy at all. Trying to show some of the parking lot here. It was, believe it or not, it was actually quieter the last time I was here, which was a few years ago, and that was my first visit. And it felt like I had the whole theme park to myself, which was amazing. Yeah, not many more cars here today so far. Looking like a pretty quiet day. There are some storm clouds around. Hopefully the weather holds up. As I mentioned, I'm going to Arnolds Park this afternoon, so I'm going to spend probably about 3 or 4 hours here at Lost Island, riding the new RMC single rail firerunner, as well as some of the other coasters here. And I remember they have a very good dark ride, interactive dark ride, so I definitely want to check that out again. Yeah, let's head on in, ride some coasters, and happy to take you guys along with me for the ride as always. Let's giddy up. Here's an SLC, Nopuko Air Coaster. I remember it being pretty comfortable with the vest restraints, but there was just one transition that was a little bit janky. That would be that. Hopefully that's a little bit better today, but I don't know. We'll check it out. But first, there's an RMC Firerunners. Just saw it testing. I'm gonna head that way first once I head on in. It's nice to see some guests around today. Yeah, like I mentioned a couple years ago, which was my first visit, it was ghost town here. Yeah, it really did feel like a private theme park. Pretty much every ride that I had was by myself. But a few more people here today, which is great. I love to see this park fill out a little bit more. Sure, it is out in the middle of nowhere, but it is really well done. Alright, scan the ticket that I bought online, and I am in. I forgot there was an Intamin here too, Matugani. That's the green track, back behind these trees. Also Zamperla Disco here, and a fantastic dark ride over here, and looming right behind it is Firerunner. This is the dark ride, Volkanu, Quest for the Golden Idol. It's closed currently. I remember this being really well done. And I remember thinking, am I at Universal or Disney? Like, it's that level of quality. All the effects were working. Everything was fantastic with this. Hopefully that opens up in a little bit so I can get another ride on it. But I'm hopping on this Firerunner. This Firerunner just opened up, I think, a couple weeks ago. As you can tell, it's kind of a prototype layout like Railblazer, which is the shirt I'm wearing at California Good America, and Stunt Pilot at Silverwood. Let's go for a ride on Firerunner. 7 ride there on Firerunner. Yeah, it's Railblazer. Longer trains though. I'm sitting somewhat near the back. Yeah, it seems like the exact same layout as Railblazer. I'd have to look at the specifications to make sure, but yeah, it's not the exact copy, but just an amazing ride. Love Firerunner. Definitely gonna go back for a couple more rides while the line is still low, and then I'll head on to this Intamin, Matugani. Alright, so I have 6 rides there on Firerunner. Not sure how many you saw in the POVs there. I did a front row, or front seat, did a back, finished up with a back seat as well. And yeah, with this being a 12-seater with the additional seats, that was definitely the most intense ride I've ever had on one of these RMC Raptors. That is for sure. Yeah, these are fantastic rides. I do love them. Yeah, this is basically the third or fourth one of these that I've ridden with this layout. But it is a fantastic layout, and it's just a fun ride. Like, these single rails do maneuvers that really no other coasters can, just because of their center of gravity and the way that it works. Nobody rocking the T-pose though. I haven't seen any other T-poses today. It's just me representing that. The T-pose is where you're sticking your arm straight out like a T when you're riding it all the way through the layout. Haven't seen anybody do that yet today, which I'm the only one doing. Right now, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break because that last back row, back seat ride on Firerunner did kind of get me a little bit dizzy for right now. So I'm gonna grab a beverage, sit down, have a little chill out, and then probably go ride this next. Matugani Intamin mini accelerator coaster, which I believe used to be in Sweden before it came here. So I noticed they have a pendulum ride here called Mirror of Fury. It looks like a mini spin cycle. The flat ride that I rode at Silverwood. Go check out that vlog if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, this goes upside down as well, just like spin cycle. I think I'll pass on that for today. It's the start of a trip. And yeah, I remember how crazy spin cycle was. This doesn't look as bad, but I think I'd prioritize the coasters instead because it's right next to Matugani, which is what I'm riding next. Alright, time for a ride on Matugani Intamin accelerator coaster. Like I mentioned earlier, it was ported over from Sweden, Leesburg and Gothenburg, just on the west coast of Sweden. So let's have a ride on this. Glad they were able to preserve this ride and bring it here. Well, we have a delay. A lady lost her phone on the ride, and so apparently they have to shut down the whole ride and find it somewhere in here. We don't know where it is, so guys, secure your loose articles, zipper pockets, or off-ride for wallets, keys, phones, etc. Don't leave them loose in a pocket, because then you delay the ride for everyone else when it falls out. Not to mention you're worried about losing whatever it is that fell out of your pocket. Anyways, I'm gonna go check out the dark ride, Volkanu, and probably come back to this. Hopefully they'll have found the phone, and this will be back open again. We shall see. Also next to the dark ride is a top spin. Looks like it tilts diagonally. That's different. Called Rokaba. I think I'll pass on that for right now. I'm gonna go ride a much better ride. And that is Volkanu. Now I do believe this is a 3D ride if I remember correctly, so I'll be wearing those glasses instead, so no POV from me. But just take my word for it. This ride is worth the trip out here to this park alone.
There is no time to lose. You must just save our heads from the wrath of Volkanu.
One of the themeparks guardians who watch over Lost Island. Our quest is simple: defeat Volkanu and save our home. But who is Volkanu? A creature of devastating fire and rage who emerged from his molten lair long ago and nearly destroyed us all. With the power of the four realms, we were able to confine Volkanu in the sacred temple of
Volkanu, just as excellent as I remember. All the effects seem to be working, but the ride vehicles were having some issues. There were some roads shut down, so it caused some issues with the, or slowdown anyway, with the throughput on that. So there was actually a bit of a wait, about 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna go check in on Matugani and see if the phone was found. Hopefully the ride's back operational again. If not, I might have a few more rides on Firerunner, and then head on over to Nopuko SLC on the other side of the park before heading on out of here. It's Matugani, I'm gonna go check it out. Ride Up just came out and gave a thumbs down, so I'm guessing this is not operational right now. Probably still either retrieving the phone or, well, it is an Intamin and maybe it could be having issues, I don't know. But I did ride it a couple years ago. I think I did front row ride. So I will put that POV in now of Matugani. Alright, so correction, no POV from 2 years ago. Instead, there are people on Matugani. I just had a couple more rides there in Firerunner. I saw this was back open. So attempt number 3 on Matugani. Hopefully this is successful. Alright, managed to get a front row ride there on Matugani, finally. Yeah, those restraints come down really tight. Actually knocked my glasses off there. I had to put them back on real quick. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun ride. Restraints are a little bit restrictive, kind of hard to put your hands up a little bit, but still a good ride. And I'm glad they were able to at least preserve it and move it here. Love the slow roll at the end. I think that's my favorite element. The launch is fairly snappy, nothing too crazy. Yeah, it's a good solid ride here in Matugani. I think next I might head on up to Nopuko, maybe another quick ride on Firerunner because I just can't help myself. I'll make my way to the other side of the park. Trees are starting to grow here. It was a lot more barren the last time I was in this park. Also got a Ferris wheel, carousel. I think there's a log flume and a splash battle over here, if I'm not mistaken. Don't particularly want to ride any of those today. I would ride the carousel, but they probably won't allow single riders. So I'll be a pass on that. Other than that, there's Wave Swinger over here, a plane ride, and drop tower. I might do the drop tower and a couple of these flat rides that I didn't do last time. Still one more major coaster to ride, and that is Nopuko there, the SLC. There was also a wacky worm coaster, which I rode last time, so I will not be riding that today. So that's what's coming up. Finish things up here at Lost Island. By the way, if I'm forgetting something cool on this side of the park, feel free to yell at me in the comments. There's the wacky worm over there, Locolo. Just check the weather forecast, and yeah, there's a big storm coming in about 40 minutes or so. It's starting to drizzle right now. I'm gonna see if Nopuko is open. Otherwise, I'm not sure what else I can get in before this storm hits. Skyborn's the name of the drop tower, and then you got this plane ride here, which looks actually pretty fun. Yeah, just running out of time here. I would have stayed for another hour. Just yeah, the theme park mark weather coming in and striking here at Lost Island, so might as well head on over to Arnolds. So let's see if this is open. Not sure, it seems very quiet over here, but see if I can get a ride here on this Volkanu SLC. just had a back row ride on Nopuko Air Coaster, and yeah, it's a little bit rougher than I remember, especially on the back there. This transition here is, I don't know what you call it, like a little like pretzel type loop, pretzel shaped loop anyway. Don't know the official name of it, but yeah, that was pretty rough. And the back row instead of front row because it's still raining. And yeah, I didn't want to soak the glasses anyway. So I'll put in a front row POV from 2 years ago in right now. I think after my last ride there on Nopuko, that will wrap things up here from Lost Island. I'm going to check out the merch, make sure I get something, because I definitely want to support this park. But it's time to head over to Arnolds, and with this massive storm coming in, I think Mother Nature's telling me to move on. So Arnold's coming up next. Yeah, I definitely do recommend coming here to Lost Island. It's a beautiful park. They definitely need the support. They need more visitors, putting in more rides, more investments. Love to see it. Love to see this park fill out. It's just so hard to get to, but you can always pair it with Adventureland is I think like an hour and a half away. I came from Chicago last night. That was about a 4-hour drive or so. You got Minnesota parks, which I'll be visiting very shortly in the next couple of days. And you can also sneak on up to Mount Olympus in Wisconsin. So there's a lot of parks around here that you can kind of pair this with. It's definitely worth a visit coming out here to Iowa to Lost Island. Well, 3.5 hours later in Arnold's Park. It is 6 o'clock. I think they close at 10 tonight, so it should be more than enough time to get all the coasters in. There's just 3 of them. Never been here before. Just put in the main parking lot in Waze, so I hope it takes me to the right place. Honestly, I have no idea. Let's find out. This looks like the right place. Oh, it's a little bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
That's what she said.
Michael, please.
There he is.
Please.
Mwah! There he is.
Welcome to Arnold's Park. See a wooden coaster. A lot of rides. Question is, can I find parking? Okay. Don't know where you're going. Guess I couldn't find anything. This looks like a spot. Alright, head on in. Well, I do not know where to go, but I do know where there's a coaster that I want to ride. Let's find out how to get in here and start riding some rides. This is a lot more than an amusement park. These museum, gift shop, welcome center. Looks like there was restaurants. This seems like a whole destination. Absolutely no idea. All right, and I'm in. So I purchased a day pass online. You just go through this little building right here. So the ticket office. Pick up the wristband there. It's right underneath the coaster. So yeah, even though there weren't really any signs, there was one sign saying main ticket office, like that direction. Don't think that was right. So just walked over here and yeah, it just happened to be the right place. So I'm gonna ride this wooden coaster first. It's called Legend. Go find the entrance. Hopefully it's not too long of a line. So according to RCDB, this is a John A. Miller wooden coaster, 1930. Wow. It's gotta be one of the oldest coasters I've ridden, not the oldest. We'll find the entrance and have a ride. I'm gonna walk all the way to the other side of the park, but I found the entrance. We'll have a ride on Legend. I was hoping for a couple rides on this, but I have absolutely no idea how long this line is. I'm guessing not long at all, because it's literally right here.
Hey, Megan! 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 Beth! 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 Megan! Hands up!
Short but sweet, nice ride there on the Legend. I think I was in row 4, I want to say. Yeah, good airtime on it. Actually, wasn't too bumpy at all, especially for being an older coaster. I'm guessing maybe some work has been done to it since it was built. At least I'm hoping. I didn't even notice the giant lake over here until I was on the ride. I'm gonna go hunt down the EF Miler coaster, and I'll probably be back for more rides on the Legend. Yeah, that was actually a good wooden coaster ride. TTC trains, pretty comfortable. Even though I wasn't in a middle row, still a good ride. So yeah, here's credit number 2. It's called Little Coaster. It's an EF Miler kiddie coaster. Not sure if they'll let me ride, but I'll try it out anyway. Cred's a cred, right? Yes, I'm definitely too tall to ride. There's a height limit. That's a bummer. Well, one other coaster to get in this park, and that is a wild mouse called Mad Mouse. So I'll probably hunt that down. Actually, I think I walked by it earlier on the way in, so I'll probably head back over to that once I ride a Legend at least once or twice. had a couple rides there on Legend, row 4, followed by a row 3. Obviously, you don't get to pick the row, just look at the draw. It was a very good coaster. The airtime at the end here was fantastic. And yeah, running pretty smooth, pretty well. There's a couple jolts there, like one on the top of a lift hill. That that took me by surprise. It was very clanky. But the rest of the ride is very enjoyable, actually. PTC trains, pretty comfortable. Just a buzz bar and a seatbelt. Anyway, it's time for the other coaster here. I did walk over to the kiddie coaster, which is right over here, but I'm too tall to ride. Womp womp. So I'm gonna go find the other coaster here, and that is Mad Mouse. I believe I walked past it on the way in. So I'm gonna head in that direction. Short walk, and I'm at the Mad Mouse. It's an Alan Herschel wild mouse. I'm not sure if I've ridden one of these before. I might have. I don't know. Looks a little janky. Still, had at least one ride on it. All right, Mad Mouse time. Oh, that was a ride. Mad Mouse. Yeah, it felt like those last two corners I was going way too fast going into it. I'd asked the ride off, is this fun or is it gonna hurt? She said, a little bit of both. Yeah, it mostly hurt. Tiny bit of fun there at the start, but oof, that was rough. I'm gonna go head back to the Legend. Have a couple more rides on that. Probably have a ride on the Scrambler too as well in a little bit. But yeah, I need a better ride after that last one. So how about another ride on the Legend? I just did a little research on that Mad Mouse. There was a bunch of them made by that company. I'd never ridden anything like that before, but it looks like according to RCDB, most of those closed down in the 60s and 70s for good reason. Looked like there were a few that were still operating, including that one. I don't think I ever want to ride another one like that again. Felt like that was trying to kill me. This, however, did not. There's also a log flume back here. I'll probably have a ride on that in a little bit and just put the glasses in my pocket, because just being day one of the trip, I don't really want to risk them getting soaked. Yeah, this amusement park is actually pretty small compared to the rest of the area. There's this huge lake out here that I'm probably gonna walk by after another ride on the Legend. just had a third ride on Legend, and that airtime hill right there is so good. It's the second to last airtime hill, and then you just kind of get flung into the brake run at the end. Feels like you're going way too fast going into that. But somehow it does stop. So I'm gonna probably have a ride on the Scrambler and the log flume, and then I'll take a little walk along the beach next. Probably won't do any POVs of either of those rides, but I'll try and show the beach off a little bit, or the lake here anyway. You can see there were beaches around. I'm not sure if there's one right here. I'll go check it out. Like a moth to a flame, I had to go towards the live music. Check this out. Yeah, I did have a ride on the Scrambler and the log flume. So I'm just gonna walk around, check things out here. Maybe have some dinner on the boardwalk, and then head over to the hotel. So I looked up the concert series, and this is actually the Nadas that's playing right now, and the Wallflowers will be playing afterwards. That's interesting. 90s music, one headlight. I might stick around for a little bit to check out the Wallflowers when they take the stage. So they're still playing right now here at the Preservation Plaza. I'm actually gonna grab something to eat here on the boardwalk and come back and watch the Wallflowers play. So the sun is setting here on day one of this trip, which actually ended up being a wonderful day. I almost got ran over there. We got plenty of rides there on firerunner to start the day. Got rides on the other coasters there at Lost Island, and even did the dark ride as well. And finishing up here at Arnolds Park. Got 2 of the 3 credits anyway, coaster credits. Mad Mouse almost tried to kill me, but Legend was a great ride. And finishing up here with the concert. So that's it here for day 1, as I said. Thanks guys for watching as always. Coming up next tomorrow in the next vlog. From tomorrow for me, next week for you, I guess, would be Adventureland in Des Moines. So that's the next one coming up. So with that, signing off here from Arnold's Park. Take care, guys.